Let's get one thing out of the way right off the bat. Supercar owners want you to look at them. There's no question that cars like Ferraris and Lamborghinis are excellent pieces of engineering and are brilliant to drive. But they also attract plenty of attention, and having a prancing horse or raging bull badge sends a clear message to the world. But what happens when you put an unfamiliar badge on a car that's capable of beating the best from Ferrari, Lamborghini and co? Well, we're about to find out with this, the McLaren 650S Spider. Of course, McLaren isn't an unfamiliar badge to Formula One fans. The British team has been winning races and championships for decades with legendary drivers including Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost and Lewis Hamilton. And of course, they built the iconic F1 supercar back in the early 1990s. But as a true rival to the established players from Italy and Germany, McLaren is still the new car on the block, having only released its second in-house road car, the 12C, in 2011. On paper then, it has what it takes to match the likes of the Ferrari 458 and Lamborghini Huracan. They may be new, but McLaren has produced a very impressive car that ticks most of the supercar boxes. I'm sitting in what they call the monocelle, which is the centerpiece of the car, in the same way that the monocoque is the backbone of an F1 racer. It's made from the same stuff as the F1 car, carbon fibre, so it's super strong and super light. The engine is a twin turbocharged 3.8 litre V8 that can trace its roots all the way back to a short-lived IndyCar engine. But since then it's been heavily reworked for McLaren for this road car purpose. In the 650S it's good for 478 kilowatts of power and 678 newton meters of torque, and it's mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. So it has the goods on the road, but does it have the right looks and head-turning ability that supercar owners expect? Not surprisingly, given McLaren's heritage, the 650S has a real race car feel about it. It is a really engaging car to drive. The feedback it gives to the driver is exceptional. The steering's really accurate, well weighted, very responsive, and it sits really flat on the road. Loads of grip from these Pirelli tyres. But what's actually quite impressive is the ride quality itself. The suspension tuning is really excellent. It's got an impressive level of comfort for a car that has this much grip. I mean, for a supercar, it really doesn't feel any less comfortable than a regular sort of sports car, you know, a performance sedan. It's got really impressive, what they call duality. It's able to be a really focused track machine, but also a practical enough car you could actually drive around, in your city or suburbs. The suspension is another example of racing know-how from McLaren's past transferring across to its road cars. Dubbed proactive chassis control, the suspension setup does away with traditional anti-roll bars and instead uses interconnected hydraulically controlled adaptive dampers and an adjustable roll control system. That allows the 650S to decouple its suspension in a straight line for better compliance while still maintaining the control and grip when cornering. In layman's terms, it means the suspension is only stiff when it needs to be. As for the engine, it's equally impressive. It's got awesome mid-range, it's got incredible torque that just hauls you out of corners. Whenever you ask for it, there's torque there, which is really what you want. In a supercar, it has that performance you expect from a supercar. Heaps of punch, but also when you get it up there, high up in the rev range, it has all that power available. Another thing that impresses about the engine though is actually how it sounds. Turbocharged engines aren't renowned for sounding as appealing as a naturally aspirated motor, but while it doesn't quite match the oral appeal of, say, the Lamborghini Huracan, that's big V10, or the scream of a Ferrari 458, it does have its own unique appeal, because at its heart is a V8 engine. It's a flat plane crank too, so makes a really sweet note. And occasionally you get a little bit of turbo induction noise as well to give it a bit of extra drama. So it's actually a pretty cool engine that gives it supercar appeal. arguably what really impresses me most about this McLaren is that it feels like a McLaren. It doesn't feel like an imitation, a pale imitation of a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. It has a unique McLaren character to it. The design of it, the feel of it, the technology in it suits what you know of McLaren, the racing car company. And I think that's arguably one of the hardest things for a supercar manufacturer to possess, is that its own unique character. And McLaren has succeeded. Is that enough though to get people to hand over more than $500,000 for it instead of something with a more established supercar badge? The problem then is a superficial one. It doesn't have the instant street cred of a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but it does have appeal for those who appreciate the brand's rich racing heritage and its attention to detail engineering. This then is a supercar for true enthusiasts, not posers.